For days, the world has been gripped by the escalating situation in Egypt, but tonight, scenes like this one here have been replaced with the violent chaos we've been watching from afar. In a break from the tense, sometimes vicious protesting and counter-protesting, a massive peaceful protest filled the streets of Cairo today. Government officials stood alongside those who all along have been asking for one thing, an end to the presidency of Hosni Mubarak. Today, President Obama echoed those sentiments.
There needs to be a transition process that begins now and that leads to free and fair elections.
But many in the crowds didn't want to hear anything from President Obama, who they view as an ally of Mubarak's. Instead, they listened intently to the man they hope will succeed Mubarak whenever the embattled president steps down. Well, 10 days of clashes in Egypt have left more than 100 people dead as pro-government and anti-government forces clash in the streets. Now we have learned that a Maryland National Guard unit is headed to Egypt next month. Cheryl Connor joins us now with more on their mission. Cheryl?
A multi-state effort to support a peace treaty between Egypt and Israel. The Guardsmen will be stationed far from Liberation Square, but who knows how long the Egyptian political crisis will go on and how far it could span. More than 400 Maryland National Guardsmen will make their way to Egypt next month. Their mission is to enforce the Camp David Accord in the Sinai Peninsula, about 150 miles from Cairo, the scene of deadly protests for more than a week. Their mission was planned well before the unrest began.
Well, the majority of these soldiers are combat veterans that will be going over. So they have the experience, they have the knowledge. Many of them have also done domestic emergencies here in the state of Maryland as well as Louisiana.
So far, the Department of Defense has not directed the Guardsmen to implement their training to handle the crowd of around 100,000. Dr. Bridget Starkey teaches international relations at UMBC. She says the U.S. military needs to take a back seat.
I feel it would be very unwise for anyone representing the United States military to be involved in that zone at all. At this point, many feel that the United States is just on the wrong side of many of these regimes, and it really needs to stand up more, as you said, for democracy in the region.
The clashes have killed more than 100 people since protests began January 25th, including a foreign journalist. Several hundred others have been injured. Dr. Starkey says frustrations among the Egyptian people have been building for years, much of it around the lack of a civil government. The Guardsmen from Maryland don't plan to be caught in the unrest surrounding President Mubarak's long-standing power, but we're told they're prepared if the mission should change.
We're really continuing to do the training that we've been doing and preparing for the mission, and that really is to prepare for any type of contingency that may happen.
The troops will deploy from Elkton, Towson, Frederick, and Dundalk sometime next month. It has been more than 10 years since Maryland Guardsmen went to the Sinai Peninsula of Egypt. Only time will tell if their mission has to change. Cheryl Connor, ABC 2 News.